If there is still breath in your lungs, the journey is not over. In truth, what you are about to hear may be the very reason the soil of your next decade yields the most meaningful harvest of your life. Most have laid down their tools, believing the sun has set on their season. But you are here, and that holds a meaning. I invite you to ask yourself, with stillness and honesty, have you settled for a smaller life than the one your heart knows it is capable of living? Tell me the name of the land you are listening from. I wish to know where these words are finding a home, and if a deep readiness to transform the very ground of your being has awakened in you. Receive this message fully. This moment could be the one where the river of your life finds a new, more powerful course. Allow me to share a truth that is hard, but clean, like a stone from a riverbed. Many who have journeyed as long as you have fallen into a quiet trap. They believe because the fire of youth is no longer a roaring flame, their best ideas, their deepest strength, their ability to cultivate something new has turned to ash. But there is a wisdom our tradition holds. It is not the passage of years that diminishes a person. It is the quiet surrender. The world is filled with souls who have laid down their spirit long before their body is ready to rest. But this I know, we do not fail because we grow old. We fail because we cease to look toward the horizon. We cease to learn. We cease to flow with the changing currents. And we cease to believe that our life can still deepen into something profound, something that nourishes the world. I am not here to offer you comfort for what has been. I am here to help you kindle the embers of what can still become. There was a man I knew, Martin. For 40 years, he was a mender of engines, a life of quiet structure in the plains of Ohio. When his work was done, he felt a void, a sense of being a dry riverbed. Until one day, he shared his understanding online, teaching younger hands how to listen to the language of old machines. This offering was met with an immense thirst. Why? Because true wisdom, born of experience, is a rare spring in a desert of fleeting information. When an elder like you allows their well to be drawn from, the world is nourished. Martin's life found a new current. He now channels his wisdom and finds more abundance in this flow than he ever did in his old structure. So I ask you, what wisdom do you hold that the younger generation is thirsty for? If you can answer this, you have found your path forward. You do not need a grand temple. You do not need to become a celebrated voice. You only need clarity. Clarity that your wisdom is a flowing spring. Clarity that seasoned stillness often sees further than restless energy. Clarity that you are not here to recede with the tide. You are here to rise with a new one. Do you know what is fascinating? When they train people to journey into the vast emptiness of space, they seek older minds to guide the mission. Why? Because in moments of great pressure, a calm and steady hand is more valuable than a youthful fire. And life, my friend, is a mission of great pressure. This makes you prepared. So the first seed of thought I wish to plant in your mind today is this: you are not behind, you are not late. Your next great journey is just beginning. But here lies the challenge. The river of time flows in only one direction. Each day you remain on the bank, hesitant to step in. You give power to the illusion that this stillness is your final destination. I want to challenge this illusion. Imagine this. What if the next 3 turns of the season became the most powerful, most generative, most purposeful of your entire life? Not because you pushed the river, but because you finally learned to flow with it. Not because you chased the ghost of your youth, but because you embraced the soul of your purpose. Let me be practical. There are 3 practices that any soul must cultivate to continue the journey forward. First, the movement of the mind. Keep learning. If you are not opening to new knowledge, you are slowly closing to life itself. Second, a connection to the world. Reach out to those younger than you. Be a mentor to them and be a student of them. Create a circle of mutual nourishment. Third, a spiritual center. Be still. Reconnect with the source. This is not about a career or accumulating more things. This is about meaning. Allow me to pause here. When was the last time you asked the great mystery? what is still possible through this life. Not what you have lost, not what has passed, but what is still waiting to flow through you. You still have time. You still have breath. That means there is still purpose waiting. But you must decide. Will you finish your journey with a strong heart, or will you let your song fade into silence? I will now show you the single greatest shadow that falls upon those in the later seasons of life, and why turning toward it allows you to walk 10 years ahead of those who turn away. Stay with me. The greatest threat to our elders is not sickness or poverty. It is invisibility. I want you to sit with that for a moment. The moment the world stops seeing you as a source, you begin to fade. Not in body, but in mind, in heart, in spirit. You become someone the world sees as what once was, instead of what is still becoming. And the greatest error I see is that our elders begin to believe this story. They retreat. They cease to offer their gifts. They cease to imagine. They cease to step into spaces that feel new or uncomfortable. They say, that path is for the young. But I am here to challenge this. This idea that your brightest sun is in the past is an illusion, and it is costing people the beauty of their twilight. I want to speak to you from my center to yours. If you have crossed 60 seasons and you are still asking what the world can give to you, your energy is flowing backward. But if you have crossed 60 seasons and you are asking, what can I give? What can I cultivate? Where can I lead? Then your energy is flowing forward, and you are already ahead of 90% of your peers. There is a teaching that says more than half of elders feel their voice has no place in the great conversation of today. But here is the profound truth. When those same elders actively bring their water to the communal garden, through community, through discussion, through new creations, that feeling of separation dissolves. Relevance is not a gift given to you. It is the space you claim by the strength of your own presence. Think about the last time you offered your guidance to another, or started learning a new craft, or created something from the silence of your own being. What if the reason you feel still is not because the world has forgotten you, but because you have stopped reminding the world of the river that flows within you? And yes, I know it is not easy. The world turns quickly, the tools change, the currents shift, but your capacity to adapt has not vanished. It is merely sleeping. I want to invite you to a small practice this week. Reach out to one younger person in your life and simply ask how they are. Just listen. Do not teach, only receive. Write down one seed of an idea you have carried but never planted. Read one page of a book on a subject you know nothing about. Why? Because these small acts of stepping into the current create ripples of purpose. There is a woman, Susan, a widow of 72 winters in Arizona, who joined a circle of people learning to capture light with a camera. She had no knowledge, but she said, "I just wanted my heart to learn something new." 1 year later, her image of a great canyon was shared and celebrated across the nation. She told me, "I didn't even know how to hold the vessel, but now people ask me for guidance. I feel the current of life again." This is what I want you to hear. It is not too late to feel the current of life again. It is not too late for your light to be seen again. But you must challenge the inner voice that whispers that your best seasons are behind you. What is your heart still curious about? What path do you still wish to walk? What have you always wanted to practice but told yourself you could not? Let it come to the surface, because I am going to give you the very frame to reshape your sense of self, your energy, and your path. Even if you feel it is the end of the day, and you will be astonished at how quickly the landscape of your life begins to change. So, stay present with me. Let me share something that should be a gentle flame for your heart. The art of becoming anew is not for the young. It is for the willing. Some of the most profound transformations in history happened in the season after 60. And I believe, with my whole being, that there is a chapter in your story that your soul is still waiting to write. But the question is, are you willing to let go of the old story to allow the new one to be told? Most people beyond 60 do not struggle because their vessel is weak. They struggle because they are clinging to an old, worn-out map of who they are. Let me show you what I mean. They say, I am a retired nurse. I used to run a business. I was once active. Do you hear what all these stories have in common? They are carved in the stone of the past. What if I told you the words you use to describe your own river determine its future course far more than your circumstances? If you keep telling your spirit that you are retired, that you are of the past, how do you expect your life to flow forward? The first practice to become Enu is this: you must rewrite the story of who you are in the living present. Not, I used to be a teacher. Instead, I am a well of knowledge. I help others grow. Not, I was a leader. Instead, I lead from my center. With wisdom, I show up. I guide. Your inner being listens to the words you speak. If you speak as though your journey is over, your spirit will prepare for rest. But if you speak as though you are still flowing, something profound begins to shift in your heart. Here is the second step. 2. Reshape the flow of your energy. And I am not speaking of forcing the body through strenuous acts. I am speaking of how you gather and spend the essence of your life force. Ask yourself this day, what am I feeding my energy to that drains my well? Hours of noise, worry, isolation. Then ask, what small act could I do that would be like a clear, cool spring for my soul? A call to someone you love, a walk in silence among trees, learning one new thing, a quiet prayer. Energy is not only of the body, it is emotional, mental, and spiritual. And the truth is, most are not weary because of their body. They are weary because of what their soul has been carrying for too long. Let go of the weight. Release what is not yours to hold. Give yourself permission to change your course. Now, here is the third step. 3. Reclaim your North Star. What do you wake up for? Not as a grand idea, but as a simple, tangible direction for the day. You see, one reason many elders feel lost in a fog is that their days have no landmarks. They wake without a why. And without a why, even a peaceful day can feel empty. So, I invite you to use what in my tradition we call the 3 awakenings. Every night, before rest, ask 1. What nourishment did I receive today? 2. Whose thirst did I quench today? 3. What will I cultivate tomorrow? That last question, what will I cultivate tomorrow, is the one that rekindles the fire. It tells your mind and your spirit that the coming sunrise matters. And if tomorrow matters, you matter. Let me share a brief story. Alvin, a man of 75 winters from North Carolina, felt his world had ended when his wife journeyed on. One day, his granddaughter asked him to teach her the simple art of making bread. That moment sparked a forgotten ember. He began to record these lessons for his family. Then, his son shared one with the world. A year later, Alvin's wisdom was nourishing a community of nearly 100,000 souls. But more than that, he had a direction again. He had a why. He told me, it is not the recognition. It is knowing that when I wake, someone, somewhere, is learning from my journey. That makes me feel the flow of life again. So my question to you now is this: what could you wake up and cultivate if you truly believed your wisdom still had power? Let that question rest in your heart tonight. You see, your new beginning does not start with a grand plan or a loud proclamation. It starts with the quiet belief that you are still becoming. The great mystery is not finished with your story, and if it is not done, then you are not done. If you have stayed with this transmission to this point, I want to acknowledge a stillness and a strength in you. You have already shown that you are not like most. You are still listening. You are still reaching. You are still open to the path. That already places you on a different mountain than 99% of people. But in the final moments of this sharing, I will offer the one understanding that will place you ahead of almost every other elder in this land. The way of seeing, the way of being, the shift that most never discover. But you will, because you have remained, because you are ready, and because your next chapter is waiting to be written. Let us not waste a single breath, because this is what your spirit has been waiting for. From the beginning of our time together, I made a promise that you would leave with the one insight that could set your journey apart from 99% of your peers. and I will give it to you now. But first, let me ask you a question that goes to the heart. Do you know why so many souls grow old yet feel hollow? It is not because they did not try. It is because they were never taught what truly matters in the second great season of life. They spent decades walking paths toward things, possessions, status, comfort, but no one ever showed them the real secret. The souls who rise to the highest peaks are the ones who continue to create, to contribute, and to become, when all others begin their slow retreat. The mindset that sets you apart from the 99% is this: I am not retiring from life. I am repurposing my vessel for a deeper flow. Let that sink into your heartwood. You are not retiring. You are repurposing. You are not fading. You are recalibrating. You are not stepping back. You are stepping into a new form of power. Every person who reaches the 1% of their age in vitality, in contribution, in connection, or even in inner wealth has this in common. They never stop living from a place of purpose. Not a vague, distant purpose. A real purpose, a daily purpose. A purpose that whispers, I still have wisdom to share. I still have souls to nourish. I still have mountains to climb within myself. I still have breath. Therefore, I still have meaning. And here is the key. No one can give you this purpose. You must claim it. You must build it. You must live it. Let me show you how. There are 3 simple questions I invite you to ask yourself each morning as you greet the sun. 1. What does the great source wish to express through me today? Not what went wrong yesterday, but today. What is the one act of service, of kindness, of growth, or wisdom you can offer back to the stream of life? 2. What is one thing I can begin or improve? This could be your writing, a call to another soul, clearing a cluttered space, building something with your hands, sharing your story, learning a new skill. You are not a stagnant pool. You just need to create a new current. 3. Who can I encourage today? Because here is the deeper truth. Your life becomes richer the moment you make another's path smoother. There is healing in that act. There is power in that act. There is freedom in that act. If you sit with just those 3 questions for 30 dawns, the entire landscape of your mind will change. Your days will stop blending into a gray mist. You will feel a sense of anticipation again, a direction again. And listen closely. This does not mean you will not feel fear or weariness or the ache of past roads. You will. But what separates the 1% from the rest is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to be led by it. You take that fear and you alchemize it into faith. You take that regret and you distill it into wisdom. You take that pain and you let it carve a deeper channel for your purpose. Do you know what the elders in the top 1% do not do? They do not waste their precious energy blaming the past. They do not measure themselves against the young. They do not sit and wait for an invitation to the dance. Instead, they wake with this fire in their hearts that says, if I am still here, my work is not yet done. Let me speak plainly to you. The world needs you. It does not need the you of 25. It needs the you that stands here now, with all the scars, the stories, the falls, and the soul. The world needs your wisdom, your courage, your ability to stand tall in a storm, because you have weathered so many. Younger people are watching. They do not need perfect idols. They need living proof. You are the proof that life does not end after 60. It can begin again with purpose. So here is what I invite you to do today. After these words fall silent, write one single sentence. Let it describe not who you were, but who you are in the process of becoming. Leave that sentence in the space below for others to see. I want to read it. Let the world read it. Let it be your quiet declaration, because when you write that sentence, you are doing something that 99% of people will never do. You are choosing to keep becoming when everyone else has chosen to stop. You want to walk ahead of the 99%. Stop thinking like them. Start seeing this moment not as an ending, but as the launching of your second life. And if you believe in speaking to the great mystery, then let this be your prayer tonight. Source of all life, I am still here. Show me what to do with the breath I still have. Make the rest of my life the best of my life. This is not the end of your story. It is the rebirth of your legacy. The only question is, will you write it? The pen is already in your hand.